The title of our next presentation is What You See Is Not What You Get, Advertising Culture Performing Propaganda. Please welcome William.
My first year at Kent State, I saw a big poster on the wall advertising Shen Yun, a Chinese dance performance. I had a friend from China at the time, so I asked her if she'd like to go. She said, no, they're anti-communist and a cult. At this point, I was intrigued. It didn't look like an anti-communist cult show. Luckily, I had a colleague, Tian Hong Zhang, who said she would go with me, help me make sense of the show, and also answer my research question. Was there a disconnect between the advertising and the shows themselves? Before I get into our findings, a little bit more about Shen Yun. Shen Yun Performing Arts Organization is a nonprofit founded by practitioners of Falun Gong. Falun Gong is a meditative healthcare practice, kind of like Tai Chi. But in 1999, it was banned in China when it was seen as a threat to the Chinese Communist Party. So the practitioners here started Shen Yun as a way to spread their message. They started small, but now they're up to 5 music and dance troupes touring the world year-round, bringing in more than $14 million a year. Despite their financial success and uniqueness, this organization has hardly been studied. So we decided to do a qualitative discourse analysis. We gathered as much of their promotional material online as we could, and we went to 2 different years' worth of shows. We used the constant comparison method to find themes in the advertising and themes in the shows, and we looked for differences. As far as the shows go, my friend was right. They are anti-communist. Now, they're not against communism per se, but they're against the way the CCP treats their practitioners. On the bottom of the screen, you see the men in black. They have a red hammer and sickle on their back, and they represent the CCP police. During the show, they harass, attack, and sometimes kill the practitioners. And this is represented as a continuation of repression by the state against religious practice in China. Now, I don't know enough about them to say whether or not they're a cult, but they're definitely a religion. In the upper right-hand corner, you see founder Li Hongzhi. He went from distributing video cassettes and leading public practices to being projected on screen as a Buddha, like this Falun Gong statue that you see. They have Chinese angels and songs about heaven and hell, and they represent Falun Gong as a continuation of religion in China going back to Taoism. So ultimately, what we decided was the advertisements correctly describe a music and dance performance, but they omit these key themes of religion and oppression that run throughout the show. We think this is intentional and unethical. It's a perfect example of Jürgen Habermas's concept, systematically distorted communication. Communication that's true on face, but it's misleading in a way that erodes trust in the public sphere. However, as a PR strategy, it's brilliant. Any movement could use these kinds of politicized performances to spread their message and bring in big bucks, provided they can follow the example of Shen Yun's splashy ads, where what you see is not what you get.